Welcome back, and Sorare have dropped the new Premier League and Bundesliga cards, so we can now redraft our Premier League and Bundesliga drafts ready for this upcoming game week 4407. And I'm going to run through with you how I go about drafting my teams, which I think is a really good strategy to put you in a good stead for the coming season. So if you are enjoying the videos, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. It'd be much appreciated. With that being said, let's take a look at these new drafts. So as you can see, guys, the Bundesliga and the Premier League have now got the draft button back, so we can add our new draft teams into our gallery. French La Liga, MLS, Serie A, still the same, still saying swap, because they're still the old season cards at the moment. I'll just go through this on the Bundesliga one because the strategy I use is the same for all the drafts, so it don't matter which one I go through, it's going to be exactly the same. So when you come into your draft, you will notice you have 400 points to spend on 8 players in your draft team. You can't have more than 2 players from the same team, and you fill out your 8 positions. Like, there's going to be a lot of different strategies you can use, a lot of different YouTube videos you can watch. Like, you might like one strategy more than another, you might like theirs over mine, but this is something I've tried to test it. It seems to work really well through the last season, so we'll go through what I did. So when I'm picking my draft, I put in what I basically call 2 designated players. They're my star players, my ballers. They're the players you think are going to do absolutely insane for you this season for their team in their league, and they stay in your team all season, because these cards, like the limiteds, rares, super rares, they will build up XP, which will give you bonus points as you're going through the season. Every time you swap a card out of your draft, it goes back down to 0 XP. So that's why I like to keep my 2 designated players, my 2 ballers, in my gallery all season, so they build up that XP and build the points up for me. So for the Bundesliga, obviously my first star player is going to be Harry Kane. Just moved to Bayern Munich. I think he's going to destroy the Bundesliga this season. Could even go and beat Lewandowski's goal record. I think he will absolutely fire him in the back of the net this year. And then my second player, who is going to be my other star player for my team, might not be everybody's pick this one, but I am going for Xavi Simons from RB Leipzig. Another young lad, only 20, but he is a player I think is going to have a phenomenal season at Leipzig, and he's one I am going to keep in my gallery all season and build up that XP. And then the next spot I move to is my goalkeeper. And here, like, I see a lot of people, like, if you take Premier League, for example, they'll go for the best goalkeepers in the league. They'll go and pick up your bloody Alissons and your Edersons. And, like, Ederson, for example, playing for Man City, he might have to make 1 or 2 saves a game because Man City are so dominant. So, he will get you them 60 points a lot because he will get the clean sheet. But that's all he's going to get you. And if Man City get hit on the counter-attack, or they have that odd game where they concede, he's scoring you 30 points. He's not going to hit the high peaks. He's not going to hit them really high scores. So when I look for a keeper, I am looking for a goalkeeper that is probably a mid-table player, faces a lot of shots, but even if they concede a goal, he makes quite a lot of saves through the game, and it just builds up his AA, and when he does hit them clean sheets, he's the goalkeeper that's going to hit you them 90, 80, 85, 100 point games that takes you on to them winning positions in Sorare. So with that being said, I've picked my goalkeeper, and I am going with Pavlenka. I've looked at his scores, really like his scores. Like I say, he gets them peaks, he does get them low scores, but the averages is really good. So my 2 star players, my goalkeeper's in, and then the next thing I do is I pick another goalkeeper, and I take a 40-point goalkeeper because 40 points is the lowest you can go. So you could just flick through them, see who you want. I will chuck someone in as long as it's not from the same team that you've got already. So I chuck in a 40-point goalkeeper, and I will chuck in a 40-point defender because we only need one defender for our team. So there you go, Silas, 40-point defender can go in. And that leaves us needing 3 positions for our team. And these positions, you can swap out 2 players every week. So even though I've got 3 open slots, you can swap out 2, but I can pretty much guarantee you, going from last season, you put in 3 players for this game week. Next game week, one of them 3 will have a decent matchup. They're not all going to have terrible matchups. And if they have, just go in the Sorare store, use a few of your coins, buy the extra swap, and swap all 3 of them out. So when I'm picking these last 3, I am heading over to a website called Sorare Data. I can't play Sorare without it. I don't know how other people play Sorare without it. And what we're going to do is going to use the game week pick scores and look for the upcoming game week 407, and we're going to see who has the best matchups for this game week, and those are the players we are going to put in our team. So if we have a look, we've got 141 points left on our budget to fill the 3 spots. So we'll take a look, and obviously there's buy-in there. We haven't got a buy-in player yet. We can have 2, so we've got Harry Kane, and we can put another one in. Mazwara's got a double A score, sorry. Alphonso Davies got an A score. They've got a 66% chance of a win. There's Upamecano. He's only 41, but there is an injury, lack of fitness by him. So whether he'll start or whether it'll be De Ligt, I don't know. And then you keep coming down, and then you've got a player like David Raum from Leipzig, from the same team as Simmons, 83% chance of a win. He could be a really good one to put in there. And obviously, same with Hendricks, he's 50 points. And the later you check these towards the end of the week, obviously the game week locks on a Friday, the more accurate this will be, whether they will be in the team. If this goes black, it's highly recommended that he'll be in the team. So I think for this week, I'm going to put in Alphonso Davies. So go to my defender, I put in Alphonso Davies, and that leaves me 89 points to put in another 2 players into my team. But because it's SO5, we've got the goalkeeper, we've got our defender, we've got our 2-star players. We only need 1 more player in our lineup. So we can use 49 points on that of our extra player, and the other one can just be a 40-point player that can just sit in there for now. He's not going to get played this game week. So what we'll do, we'll put this down to 49. I need a mid or a forward as our extra, and we'll take a look who we can get in there. See if there's any decent players for this week. There's a player called Chris Furyk. He's a double A score. He's got a decent L5, and he is 44 points. It's same team as Xavi there. Not as good L5, but like I say, they have got the 83% chance of a win. If we take a look at the forwards, the score still stays on there, so you're only looking at players that you can afford to put in your team. It's a bit strange that Silas is coming up as a forward, as I've just put him in our draft as a defender. But there you go. And then you've got Alessandra Player, could be another very good player, playing Darmstadt, just been promoted. They're 18th in the league, 42% chance of a win. And even though it says 35 there, he will be a 40-point player. And you just keep looking, and you pick the player that you think is going to do best that game week for their team in this league. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with the man who's been on form. He's got a 69 L5. He's only going to cost me 44 points with a double apex score. I'm going to go for Chris Furyk. So we'll go to our midfield, and you can type him in at the top, save a bit of time trying to find him. And there he is. So he's going in our team. And then all I'm going to do for this extra forward spot is we're just going to chuck in a 40-point player. So I probably will chuck in Alessandro Player here, because obviously he had a good game. And there's risk of like injuries in training and all sorts. If you can't rotate your players out in time, you might be able to swap them for one of these. So yeah, we'll put them in there as well. So that will confirm our draft, and it will bring you to the game screen. We will chuck in our goalkeeper that we've picked. We've got Alphonso Davies. Then we got our star boy, Xavi Simons, Harry Kane, and our extra player that we picked. And then we need to captain the player. So we'll captain Harry Kane. Hopefully he gets a few goals, gets in them decisives, and bangs a good scoring for us. And that's it. Your team is in. Your team is confirmed for this game week. And that's it. That's free to play. That's all you have to do. Your teams are submitted. And then obviously next game week, once this is live, just click on upcoming again, put your teams back in, and keep rinse and repeating, and see if you can win a card. Like the prize pool, there is 200 cards in amateur to win, and they're limited cards, so they do have a value. Obviously there's 13,000 people entered, but if you do win a Bundesliga limited, you can also then go and enter into the Bundesliga semi-pro, or you can just go buy one Bundesliga card. There's still 200 prizes, but there's only 1,256 people in this. That goes the same. You use your commons. So I use my Pavlenka, my Alphonso Davies, my Simmons, my Kane, and then my extra you put as your one limited, and you just captain him. You have to captain your limited in the semi-pro, but all four of these are used from your common draft. And then you're entered into 2 competitions on Sorare for 1 limited card. Like I say, I'm going to go ahead, draft the Premier League now. I won't show it on the video because it's going to be rinse and repeat. It's going to be the same thing over again. And once the other cards are released, you will be able to redraft these as well. So if you just had 1 limited card from each of the amateur tournaments, you could potentially play in 12 competitions each game week. You could play in all the amateurs and all the semi-pros and have 12 chances at winning a reward. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you have a different strategy for your common drafts on Sorare, let me know down below how you draft your players and how you go about picking your teams. Like I say, thank you very much for watching and have fun.